What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to episode 3 of our window shopping series. Every Monday, we have a new episode of this, and the idea of the series is basically we watch the market, and every week we look at a new tab of whatever going down the list, and I give you my recommendations on what's good and what's not. Should you enhance it? Should you buy it? Generally, the consensus is if you can afford it, just buy it directly. It's overall better. But some classes are like more popular than the others. That means you can't find as many weapons and stuff. So basically, we go over all the weapons, and I give you my thoughts and opinions on pretty much every class and what I think of the market at that time. Should you do this and not? So episode 3, we're going to be going over awakening weapons. The first 2 episodes were main hand and subs, so you can watch that. If you're new to the channel, check the link in the description, and you can watch the series from the start on these 2. So yeah, this is a once a week thing, every Monday, and yeah, so we're going to Awakening. Now this one's going to be a special one because Awakening is kind of like split. Now, it depends on what class you're playing, but some favor Succession, whereas some favor Awakening, and then some are just like, which one do you like more? So generally, I would recommend just play what you want, but if you are looking to min-max and just try to get the best performance, I'll try to go over all the classes to my knowledge and from my experience in mostly PvP experience. I'm not really 100% sure on the whole PvE thing, so like which one's better, Succession or Awakening. But just from my experience playing and from what I've heard from my guildies and all that stuff. So, anyway, as usual, we'll go down the list, but let's start off with the Vediant because I main a Dark Knight and that's one I could give you the best information of. So yeah. So Vediant, we're going to be looking at everything. So basically, well, everything relevant, which is either Dandy or Blackstar. So just to go over my recommendation, and for a lot of you who have been asking me which one should you get, generally the overall for all the classes is if you plan on grinding a lot, PvE, get the Vediant or the Blackstar. And then if you plan on doing PvP or mixed, Dandy is generally better. So yeah, obviously one costs more than the other, but that's okay. So where do we start? For Dark Knights, Succession is usually the most played class for PvP, and Awakening is used. It's getting better, but Succession has always been just straight up better than Awakening for Dark Knights in particular. So, I play Succession, and I don't know, it's hard to say because it depends on how long you've been playing as well. Like, if you already have a pen Dandy, and you're gonna ask, is it worth switching to a Tet Blackstar? And the answer really is, do you grind a lot, or do you just, like, do you Node War? Do you, I don't know, just do any sort of PvP? If the answer is yes to that, then just keep your Dandy. It is less monster damage, but overall, it's like, from my testing and grinding, you make more with Blackstar, which is, we already knew that, but how much more is the question. So, I didn't really do much testing. Only probably have about like 20 or 30 hours of with the Vediant versus my Blackstar, but in terms of the difference, I probably make about 10 to 15 mil an hour extra at like Hadum spots with the Blackstar versus Dandy. So I thought to myself, is it worth it if you're just going to use both of them? And the answer is, if you really grind a lot, it'll pay off eventually. If you don't grind a lot, just keep your Dandy. So, anyway, for Dark Knights, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, most people play Succession, so I would say just overall, Blackstar might be better. But if you already have a pen Dandy or something, just keep it. It's probably fine. So let's look at the prices. Roughly about 13-12 billion for a pen dandy, and 13 to 14 for a black star. So neither of them, well, in general, right now, dandies are not really worth making yourself. So if you want it, probably just buy it, whichever one. But yeah, so this one's a tricky one. Dark Knights in particular. More people play Succession, but Awakening it's not bad, it's just not as good as Succession. So everything over here, the blue one is something that we all used to use back in the day before boss gear was actually like easy to get. So back when dandies were rare and before Blackstar even came out, that's when we used the blue Vediants. I wouldn't actually use these anymore. I think they actually give them away for doing the Awakening and or Succession quest. Well, actually not Succession, but Awakening. Don't go Dragon Slayer. It's a meme at this point. Like, they don't sell. The way you get a Dragon Slayer is by like turning the stuff into black residue in Duvinkroon. You have to use a blue one to get a Dragon Slayer. Basically, the end goal for a Dragon Slayer is it's a cheaper to make pen, and it has, okay, so my dandy has Capris in it. However, if you were to get one of these, it is just 1 AP lower, but it's cheaper to make and cheaper to enhance. But overall, if you're trying to min-max your AP at super late game, you really just don't want a Dragon Slayer, despite what people say. Alright, what's next? So yeah, if you're a new player, and that's, I don't know. Whichever one you can get first, just get that one. But with that said, let's go on to the Greatsword. Alright, so Greatsword for warriors in particular. So from my experience, a lot of people for PvP play Awakening Warrior, and then I have seen some people play Succession. In my experience, I personally like Awakening Warrior a little bit more. Obviously, Succession probably does a little bit more damage, but overall, both are very solid choices. It's kind of weird. There's actually 0 dandies and 0 black stars on the market. Why? I don't know. But anyway, so what are we looking at? Is it worth making it yourself? Well, if the answer is there's 0 on the market, you don't really have a choice. But I mean, I'm pretty sure with all classes, if you just put an order on something, you can probably get it. More in particular for dandies. Like, yeah, you could. This one was sold today, or actually, it was yesterday. But like, if there's 0 on the market, you might have to make it yourself. But looking at the days, if you just put an order on, you'll probably get it within 24 hours. There's a good chance of that. And yeah, so not a big deal. Don't panic. Even if there's 0 on the market, dandies and black stars are really common to get. But overall, my experience, Awakening is the preferred. Succession is also not bad though. Sorceress. I actually really haven't heard much info about them. I think they're both good, but I see a lot more Awaken than Succession. Actually, I see both of them, but I think the more preferred one is Succession just because of the more damage, but I think either way, fighting them PvP, both are pretty annoying to go against. 0 pens, but a few tets. At least you can buy them off the market, unlike Warrior. Black stars. Honestly, if I were to buy a black star, I would just go for like try to hope for it goes tet. But if you really hate enhancing, just buy it at tet. Haven't really heard much info on this one, but pretty sure Awakening is the way to go. Berserkers. I'm not really sure. I don't really fight a lot of Berserkers. The only time I see them is like Node Wars, but like when I'm grinding, I don't see them often. It's not that it's a dead class. They're actually very strong right now, but I'm just not sure. But there's a lot of dandelions on the market and a few black stars. So I wonder if that means that Succession is not played as much, if there's quite a few of them on the market. So who knows? In my experience of playing as Berserker, I played Awakening. I thought it was fun, and then I don't know, there's just a few things that I couldn't get used to with Succession. So not really much info I could give you from that one, but going on to Rangers, there's actually a lot of them on the market. Roughly they're all around the same price. There's a lot of Tets, but no, not any pens sitting on the market. A lot of people play Succession for Rangers. I guess that's kind of why there's a lot on the market sitting, which makes sense. But yeah, when you're watching people, this Ranger is a high APM class, and for me personally, my Ranger, I have always liked Succession just across the board because you don't have to C-swap. That means one less button to fit into your combo and rotation. So Awakening is cool and all, but I personally preferred Succession. But yeah, Rangers are good. People just don't play it. I personally think they're like sleeper OP, but we don't know. Tamer. Don't really have much info. Don't really see them around much either, so can't really give you much info on that. But in terms of which one is better, I'm pretty sure Succession is better. Reasoning is like with Awakening, it's more, how do I describe Tamer from my experience? You have less abilities, but it's more control and movement with Tamer. So it's like you can control your hailing, and then you just like fly around everywhere. But it is really strong. I think if I were to choose one, I'd personally play Succession. But there's a lot of them. Still can't buy a pen. That's kind of odd. Hold up, let me look at the variant again. So far, if you were trying to buy a pen, it's only on Dark Knights, which not a good sign because Dark Knights play Succession for the most part. In terms of Valkyries, which one is better? Believe it or not, my first ever character in this game when I first started, when the NA launch happened, was a Valkyrie. And then I got it to like, back in the day, getting to 56 was tough. And then that took a while. Like nowadays you can get to like 61 in a day and a half. Back in the day, getting to like 56 was a struggle. You would actually have to grind for that. But yeah, I just was never able to get like the hang of S abilities, like down S and then whatever combo. So personally, I like Succession more, but I think they're both solid. This is Valkyries are like, both are good options. But with that said, let's see how many pens are on the market. 0. You can buy a lot of them. This makes me wonder, is Warrior the new meta? They weren't ever bad. I don't think Warrior is ever bad. Their blocks are very strong. But some reason they're all just sold out. Wonder if that means people are rolling Warriors. This is why we have this episode, so I could check it out so you don't have to. But yeah. Anyway, a lot of things. A lot of dandies sitting on the market. No pens for all of them, but you can buy weapons. Musa. It's in a strange spot, just across the board, whether you're Succession or Awakening. Musa is a zoom class, but apparently people say they suck. I don't think they're bad. Like, they do a lot of damage. You just kind of zoom away a lot, so I don't know. It's hard to catch, but if you know how to play the class, it's good. I really only have experience with Awakening for Musa. Haven't actually played. I don't even think I've done the Succession questline for it. But, yeah. Musa's very good life skillers. They zoom a lot. There's a lot of dandies on the market. Can't buy a pen, but you can get a lot of them from Tet and below. No, actually, by that I mean like Tet, Tri, and Pry. Yeah, that's it. I think they're a good class. I just don't. The community doesn't think so, but I think they are. This one is Meiwa. I actually enjoyed Meiwa. If I were to re-roll to another class, I probably would have chose Meiwa. I did have a series on the channel where I played my Meiwa for a bit, got it. We did some quests for it, and we did some grinding. I thought it was fun. Overall, it's like a pretty fast grinder, so I'm not really sure what to say for this one. I've only played Awakening, but there's only 3 on the market, so that means Awakening is probably pretty solid. So how I judge that is like, is there a lot of them on the market? If yes, that means Succession is probably the most, or like the better choice of it. If not, that means Awakening seems pretty good, but I don't actually know. As always, you cannot buy a pen, dandy. That's actually surprising. But Meiwa, pretty fun class. Kind of like Musa's, except female. No, they're actually really different, but also considered not in the greatest spot right now. I would say Meiwas are just straight down the middle. Ninjas, Awakening, way to go. Succession obviously does more damage, but in terms of like fun factor, I'm pretty sure you can get cooler combos off with Awakening. Can you buy a pen? You still can't buy a pen on this class either, but there's a lot on the market. In terms of grinding with my ninja's actually level 61. And grinding on a ninja was like, it's not fun. It feels like I was going to get carpal tunnel. But in PvP, dude, you just CC for days. Ninja's a very strong PvP class. But in terms of PvE, it's not fun. That's just my experience. Some people obviously don't have the same feelings, but overall, strong PvPer. PvE, I mean, obviously you can grind with every class, but it's like some are easier than others. But I assume most people, if you're playing a ninja, you're probably doing it for the PvP. Kunos, big circles and big AoEs. I personally like Awakening more because the chakram is like literally the reason why I play Kuno, because they do like they have the cool little chakram thing and it looks cool. The animations for your abilities are cool, and then when you play Succession, you no longer have that. That's less fun. So, with that said, that's why I play Awakening. Other than that, are there any pens you can buy? Nope. Hold up. Let me reset this. I'm just kind of processing. I would actually just fish while I'm at it at the Termian Park, but dude, just going to the Termian Park and my FPS drops. Anyway, where were we? We just finished the Kuno. Now we are on to the Witch. Witch is considered the lesser wizard, but I think Succession, obviously the way to go for both Witch and Wizard. I can just tell you, Succession, Wizard, we're just gonna go off on that next one. But anyway, can you buy a pen over here? No, you can't. Dude, what is with all the classes? You cannot buy a pen except for the DK. That is concerning. I hope the devs, if you watch this video, there's a reason why they're sitting there. But realistically, if you just put an order up, you can literally get any pen, any class, probably within 24 hours. It's just DK has them sitting there right now. But in terms of grinding with them on Succession is, well, actually both PvP and PvE Succession is just straight up better. There's no contest. All right, the good old Suck Wizard. Oh boy, dude. So, this one, like, we all already know. I don't know how to make this one, like, any easier. Succession Wizard for PvP. Because beyond overpowered, beats literally every other class. So, if you're playing Wizard, I think the only downside to Succession Wizard is, like, there was one, but I don't even remember. They're just, like, there's more goods than bads, honestly. So, I would say, like, 95% of people you run into that play Wizard are probably Succession. In terms of PvE, yeah, I'm pretty sure just for grinding, Succession is better too. So at this point, if you don't know what to get and you're gonna play Succession, just get the Black Star. I don't know. Unless you're at, like, really high end to the point where the extra damage to all species at the PvP stuff, or you don't have a pen and you have Capris, that's the only time I would really get a dandy for Wizard, is if you can Capris it, or you can't, or you don't have a pen Black Star. And of course, there are no pens sitting on there. Dark Knight, we just went over it. Literally the only class right now that we've seen that you can buy a pen, but that's understandable because Dark Knights play Succession most of the time. Striker. If you've ever fought a Succession Striker, it's like, you know that meme when that dude just, like, closes his eyes and opens it again, and then the things... Yeah, that meme. You get grabbed and then leg dropped by a Striker, and you're just dead. Both of them are pretty solid. I think Succession is played a little bit more just because of the extra damage it gives. No, we don't even have to look at that to tell you that there are no dandies listed, so that means there are no pens or literally anything else. Pretty sure most people just play Succession anyway, so it makes sense. Mystic. This one has been a controversial one. I actually read the Mystic Discord because I played it a lot. Mystic was actually the character that I played on the side with my DK for a while. And it's actually like a big 50-50 across the board for, like, whether you should play Succession or Awakening. And so a lot of people say it's, like, good for both of them. So it's really just personal preference. I personally like Awakening more because you have the dragon, and just, like, the animations look cooler. You get the dragon's pit thingy that, like, blue versus yellow, pretty much. Some of the skills look cooler, and yeah, I personally like Awakened a little bit more. Lon, I think more people play Awakened Lon than Succession. I played Succession just to try it out and then just never switched back, but I think more people played, or currently to this day, play Awakened. And you can buy a pen off the market. This is a rare moment. Oh my goodness. We didn't really check the Cestus, but can you buy it? Nope. No, you can't. Currently, the only ones you can buy a pen for are DK and Lon right now. Great bow. This is Archer. I don't really know what to say. A lot of people re-rolled off of Archer recently just because the whole in PvP, like, I think archers are strong. However, their mobility is good, but if people can gap close you as an archer, you just don't win. So, and a lot of people are obviously playing classes where gap closing is easy. But yeah, if you can keep your distance against people in war or whatever, just PvP, you'll do fine as an archer. But against like a person who knows what they're doing, it's not that your damage is good, it's just your like ability to do damage and move at the same time, which archers have high mobility, but people just gap close in and there's nothing you can really do about it. Plus they're kind of like glass cannon classes, just like Dark Knight. So yeah, it's one of those things that I'm not really sure which one is better. But I can tell you, they're pretty solid grinders. Guardian. This one is a mix-up between whether they're both good. So in the Guardian Discord, a lot of people are just like 50-50 down the middle. I think Awakening Guardian is the way to go, in my experience. There's just more to the kit that I liked about it. Guardian, either way, no matter what you do, is a very powerful class. They have a very strong guard, a huge AoE, and the damage ramps up with their abilities. So like you get a 20 stack of something and then you just swing your battle axe and then the enemies are gone. So Guardian is still a very strong class. I would put that up into like top for both PvP and PvE, next to Succession, Wizards, and I think Warriors are very strong. But yeah, Guardian, I don't think it really matters which one you play. You can buy a pen, that's cool, but I think Awakening is the way to go. Hasashin, they're both very strong, honestly, for Succession and Awakening, in my experience. I don't think it really matters what you play, because they have a lot of AoE, and if enemies stand in your tornado, they just kind of die. It just, like, this scales. The damage is really strong scaling. So, can you buy a pen? No, you can't. But anyway, both of them, very strong. If you're looking for someone who streams Hasashin, I would watch Vert. He does very well with it, and it's fun watching him. And our last one, right now we have a Nova weapon, and so here's my experience. I really like Nova. If I were to ever reroll, it would actually be Nova right now. So Awakening, Nova, very strong. Succession ones I have less experience with, but they are also like both of them are very tanky, output very strong damage, and I don't think there's a bad choice, but I think the overall most played is probably Awakening, and that's what I have my Nova on as well. And you could buy a pen for that. That's pretty cool. But overall, someone sold a... Oh my goodness, dude. Imagine hitting a pen Black Star and then selling it for 46 billion. And now look, it's literally like more than doubled. Get wrecked. Whoever sold this one, you deserve it. I hope you learned a lesson. Anyway, Nova, very strong. As of next week, hold on, let me check. What day? 21st of April is when we get the Sage Awakening. And they do have a trailer of it, but we can't actually play it right now. It's not out, but it will be next week. And obviously, there's no info on whether it'll be good or not. However, from what the trailer has shown, Sages do have a grab, and they just have more mobility, I believe. So overall, I think Succession Sages are like, they're not really the best 1v1ers, but they are very strong in group fights. So I think Succession is strong. we'll see how Awakening goes next week. We'll probably make some videos of the Awakening, try to enhance a weapon on that one as well. And we'll see how that goes. So I think that's it overall for all the classes. But in my experience, I could give a shout out to some people who play very specific classes. Some of the people that I personally watch. I'm not just throwing out names there. So Warriors, obviously we've heard of Morlin, and he's a Succession Warrior. I think he does pretty solid overall. He has pretty good gear as well. I watch him, and it's good. In terms of Sorks, I think Potion Shop plays a Sork. I don't really watch him much, but he's good at PvP. Berserkers, we all watch Choice. Dude is beyond geared. Also at Warriors, I used to watch Zethian, but I think he's a Sage now. And he used to play Guardian. But Zethian is beyond geared as well. Choice, very strong player for Berserker. He's more geared than like 99% of the people. Rangers, Anfield, or there's a lot of Korean streamers that I watched that Korean YouTubers and streamers that play Ranger, and they're really good. So I don't think Ranger is for me, but it's like a high APM class. I don't really know any tamer streamers. I'm sure they're out there. I just don't know who you are. I'm sorry. Then we have, let's see, the Valkyries. I used to watch a guy named Dark Crusade. He's a Valkyrie main. He grinds a lot. I don't know what happened to him. He kind of just disappeared, but then he came back, and then he disappeared again. He's a very strong Valk. Before he quit for like 2 years, he was beyond geared, and now he's still above average to this day, 2 years later. Dark Crusade, don't know what happened to him, but if you ever find him, it's good. I don't really know who plays Musa. I used to watch Vert play Meiwa, but then he re-rolled to Sashin. Ninja, I know some streamers, but I don't really watch them, but Ninja is literally Ninja. Kuno, Karandis, Kuno main. I don't really know what Karandis does. He just does everything. But if you want to watch Karandis, every time I see him, he's life skilling, but he's pretty geared. He doesn't show it. You want to watch Kuno players? It's Karandis. You could probably find a Succession wizard or witch somewhere on Twitch. I watch Huntler a little bit. He's very good at PvP. Yeah. DKs. Let's be honest, no one plays DKs. Strikers, I don't actually know anyone that plays Striker or Mystic. But they're very strong classes. I don't really know anyone that plays Lon, Archer. I think Zethian used to watch or play Awaken or Guardian. But I think he's on Sage now. And then as for Hasashin, Vert plays it now. I don't know anyone that plays Nova. But yeah, those are my recommendations of people who are actually good at what they do on their class. But yeah, that's all the people I know. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.